please, ladies and gentlemen, allow him to introduce himself because my tongue has refused. So please, sir, he's the organizer of the Recontre.
The name is Recontre Africa. Rencontre basically means conference, junction, awakening almost.
All right.
We could call it.
And your name?
My name is Thierry Dubus. Yeah. I think for everyone, the best reference I can have to know where my name comes from and how to pronounce is you have a very famous football player called Thierry Henry.
Thierry, yeah.
So same thing, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Thierry, for joining us. Now, give us a small highlight or give us an insight on what Recontre Africa is.
Okay, Recontre Africa is basically a networking opportunity. I can explain rapidly what will be happening is that we have, it has happened already once in France, and since it's called Encounters with Africa, it seemed normal that the second edition be held in Africa. So what is happening is that there are 200 French businessmen who have been recruited, who are actually not recruited, but they are paying for this, so they're very serious about it. There's about 250, and what we are doing is we're bringing them down to Abidjan, where the whole meeting starts. I will go in just a little while on the progress of these encounters, but the idea is they go to Abidjan, they have the same thing that will be happening in Kenya, but it's, let's say, the major part. Then these businessmen split. Some go to Tunisia, the others come to Kenya. We will have, basically it's about 250 French businessmen coming over, chartered down by plane. We will have approximately 100 to 150 of those French businessmen coming to Kenya. Okay. They are not the only ones because, of course, we are recruiting some enterprises and companies from Kenya, East Africa, and the whole of Africa, basically. So they will be coming with a few West African companies who are also looking to network with Kenyan businesses. And after that, once they are here, the idea is to have some thematic plenary conferences. I can go through some of the subjects a bit later so that people understand the interest. There will be workshops, there will be B2B meetings that are managed through an application.
Actually,
Yes.
Actually, that's what I wanted to get to. I was going to ask you what are your expectations for this second Recontre Africa 2017?
Your accent is getting better.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, the expectations, as I said, it's a network opportunities for companies, but it's not only about France and Kenya, It's really Pan-African and East African, meaning that, yes, it's also an opportunity for East Africans from Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, etc., to meet their Kenyan counterparts and see if they can get some businesses going. And basically what everybody should be looking in those meetings is, of course, to have win-win situations.
Of course.
So it's business, meaning it's negotiations. But the idea is
what businesses, Thierry, what businesses opportunities do you see in Kenya?
There's so many, I wouldn't really know where to start, to be very honest. No, what I can say is that we're interested in a great variety of sectors. Just to give an idea, which we forgot to mention, is that the patrons are basically the French Ministry of Europe and Exterior Affairs. I can announce already that our minister will be coming down for this. I'm unfortunately unable to ask that we're unable to confirm that we're also asking his boss. But no, he's interested. From what I hear, he will be coming to part of it, but we don't know which part yet. He will keep us informed, so it gives you an idea of how big this is. Your ministry, the Kenyan Ministry of Industry, is also a patron of this. And our partners are KEPSA, KenInvest, KNCCI, French MEDEF, etc., etc. So it gives, those are more sponsors, Société Générale, the bank, etc. There are sponsors. But the idea is we're interested in a great many sectors, Some of the themes that will be treated at the conference, because that will give you what opportunities can be found in these meetings. For example, the thematics, we will have the Secretary General of COMESA as well as the Secretary General of East Africa, who will be, East African Community, who will be coming to speak, just to give you an idea of the level of the speakers as well as some ministers, of course. We will be treating the East African market opportunities for private sector with these people. So obviously anyone who's interested in expanding in East Africa should be coming here. There will also be, as is always, how could I say, a hindrance to development for private sector. There will be a whole thematic on funding solutions for the private sector, where we will have investment bankers explaining how to bring a file that will get some attention and also
attract the investors.
Absolutely, and also what possibilities they have to fund their businesses and their expansion. So there will be people coming here to talk about that. We're also interested in agriculture. There are the transformation of agriculture into well, simply to increase the output of what agriculture can do, because we know that it's always limited, and there are ways to improve this. We will also have, we will treat the rising middle class in Kenya. There are, we don't know yet, we have Ipsos who are interested in speaking, and we have Sagasti, who is a French firm also, who have studies on this middle class in Africa, and they will explain what these people bring in the way of new opportunities, new ways of doing business, etc., etc. So these are thematics where we will have speakers, like I said, such as the Secretary Generals. We have your Adam Mohammed, who apparently has agreed to speak, which is the Minister of Industry. You know, we have CEOs from Turkana Wind. I mean, I'm not going to go through the list. It would take forever for now.
You're very prepared. That's an event that I'm definitely going to attend, especially you hit
very
me.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. You hit me when you spoke of the middle class.
Yes.
Because it's a section in Kenya that, or rather it's a group in Kenya that is actually growing really fast, and we keep on just circulating in that. Anyway, why at this time, why have you decided as France, as a country, to come to Africa and try? Why now?
Why now?
Yeah.
Well, the answer is pretty easy, I would say, somehow. I can start by saying it was a no-brainer for France to develop their business ties with West Africa, as the language is common, so it was easy. But then, as any businessman who wants to expand, when you look at the whole of Africa, you can tell right away where it's happening. And it's happening in Kenya, mostly, and East Africa. When we talk about this middle-class sector, it's a bit interesting because sorry, I'm just digressing just a little bit. I just wanted to say it's important because it is actually a Kenyan phenomenon. Yes. This middle class is developing elsewhere, but not at the speed, and it doesn't have the size that it has in Kenya. Meaning that now is the time to come, because all this is booming. The economy is doing quite well, and this middle class means new business opportunities, which is why this is now that they want to come and say, okay, this is long overdue. Let's do this.
Okay, since you've been to different countries and you've been able to experience businesses, I'm sure, in different countries, maybe you can give me a slight comparison of how easy has it been as an investor or as a foreigner to do business in Kenya compared to other East African countries?
That one's a bit more tricky. I would like to, I think the best way to answer this, unfortunately, is different countries have different practices,
of course.
Okay? Meaning that basically all the industries can find a match in the different countries, which is why we're gathering them. I would not be informed enough to start talking about what are the specific differences in all the countries. Just saying everyone can find a match, basically. And I would like to say, well, somehow come to the event, you know, come to the event, and that's where you can find out all about this. Since we're having, as I said again, the EAC who will come to speak, COMESA, you will understand what you need to prepare for if you want to go do business in other countries. I mean, it's not my place
to actually answer that. Let me just, lastly, this is my last question to you, and I need an honest answer.
Oh.
Now, African countries tend to enter business deals with the Western world, right? And we've seen as this particular Recontre, as you said, it's supposed to be a win-win.
Just call it encounter.
Encounter. It's supposed to be a win-win situation for both countries.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a win-win situation for Kenya and France, win situation for Tanzania and France. But we've seen ourselves get indebted a lot, or somehow it's more of a win situation for the Western world more than for us. What are your sentiments on that? What is your take? I'm not attacking you.
No,
I
don't feel personally attacked. Don't worry.
Fantastic.
But I was going to say, basically, you're saying that perhaps the Western world has a tendency to overwhelm, overpower, maybe, and get more out of the deals.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, I understand very much why you're asking this question, seeing what the major investors in Kenya are these days and the way they go about business. Yeah,
we have debts with China that are going to be paid in 2044, 2030.
I won't get into this, but I don't believe that the Western community, France, or other European communities, basically, are still on this mindset. They're not at all. Basically, as I said a bit earlier, everybody is looking for win-win situations in this, okay? And I would like to add that I've been in Kenya more than 10 years now.
Wow.
And from what I've seen, some of the business people in Kenya are very, very high level. And I would just send a word of caution to my French compatriots of the business community to be very careful, because they may end up being exploited, because the level here is very high. So if they come with this mindset, they're wrong, and they're not coming with this mindset.
Okay.
But again, to make sure nobody's on the losing side, it's a network environment, and it's business negosions.
Right.
So, but they're not coming with that view at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay, and thank you very much. Any last words for us?
Well, come to the event. It will be on October 5th and 6th at the Intercontinental Hotel. You can reach through Keninvest, KEPSA, even KNCCI. They will tell you where to go. You can go on rencontreafrica.org and you will find all the details.
I'll get the spellings for that. HongKongAfrica.com. Thank you very much, Thierry, for joining us.